Hi, welcome to Animal Wonders. Today we're going to learn all about deer. So when we talk about deer, we're talking about more than just one animal. The word deer is a general term for over 90 species of hoofed mammals in the family Cervidae. There are many different types of deer all over the world, from the tiny mouse deer found in Southeast Asia to the huge moose, also known as the American elk, that lives in North America and Eurasia. In New England, we're most likely to find white-tailed deer. No matter what species of deer you encounter, they all share some common characteristics. So what do all deer have in common? Well, first of all, deer are herbivores. This means that they eat only plants such as leaves, grass, fruits, and new shoots. Depending on where they live, there may be more or less of these plants available, and that can affect how many deer can live in a particular area. One of the ways that both male and female deer are built for running is their legs. They have 2 toes on each foot, and these toes are separated by a cleft or a split. These are called cloven hooves. Not only does this split help deer to walk softly, which helps them sneak up on their dinner, it also gives them good traction on rocks and roots when they're running away from danger. Because of their speed and their soft padded feet, deer can easily escape predators when they're young, and as adults, they can run up to 30 miles per hour or 48 kilometers per hour. That's as fast as a car on an interstate highway here in the United States. One of the fastest land mammals in the world, the pronghorn, can outrun most deer. You can learn more about them on the Animal Wonders channel. Another feature that all deer share is their beautiful brown, reddish, or gray fur. This camouflage helps them to hide from predators when they're little and from prey when they're hunters. Some deer live in areas where it snows, so the color of their fur helps them to disappear into the white landscape. The last thing that all deer have in common is their large, dark eyes. These eyes are amazing because they can see almost 310 degrees around them, except for a small blind spot directly behind them. They can use this amazing vision to look out for danger. And their big ears are also really helpful. They rotate to face forward to listen for predators and then quickly turn to face away from danger. If a predator is sneaking up on them, their ears are probably the first to hear the danger, even before they can see it. Now, even though all deer share these features, not all of them have antlers. Only the males of most species grow these impressive bony structures. Antlers are made of bone and are covered in a skin-like tissue called velvet. As the antlers grow underneath the velvet, the blood vessels provide nutrients to the growing bone. Once the antlers are fully grown, the blood flow slows down and the velvet dries up and peels away. Now the male deer have bare, hard antlers. Male deer use their antlers to fight other males during mating season. These fights are a way for the males to show off how strong they are and to win the right to mate with the females. Sometimes the males will slam their antlers together really hard, and other times they'll lock their antlers together and try to swing their heads from side to side until one of them gives up. After a fight, the male deer might also use his antlers to scrape and rub against the ground, trees or bushes. This removes old scent from his antlers and replaces it with his own scent. This scent is like his calling card and tells other males that he was here and lets the females know that he's ready to mate. Once the mating season is over, the males will drop their antlers and they'll start growing a brand new set. These new antlers will be a little bigger than the last ones, and the cycle will repeat itself every year. Female deer don't grow antlers, but some of the smaller species of deer do. For example, female reindeer grow antlers and they keep them all year long. Most female deer use their impressive kicking ability to defend themselves and their young. No matter the gender, all deer are amazing parents. They will do anything to protect their young, including sacrificing their own life. All deer are ruminant animals, which means they have 4-chambered stomachs that allow them to digest tough plant material that other animals can't eat. Inside their stomachs, there are millions of tiny organisms that work to break down the cellulose found in plants. Plants are a great source of food, but the cellulose in them is very hard to digest. These microorganisms ferment or break down the plant cellulose, turning it into a substance that the deer can absorb and use as energy. This process is similar to how our gut bacteria help us to digest our food. Deer are ruminants, which means that they swallow their food and then regurgitate it back up to chew again. They may do this multiple times before the food goes down to their four-chambered stomach. When they swallow, the food goes down to their first chamber, also called the rumen. Here the food is mixed with water and gases, and the microbes that help to digest the cellulose in the plants begin their work. After the food has been mixed in the rumen, it goes to the reticulum. Here it is sorted based on size. Smaller particles move to the omasum and the abomasum, which is similar to our stomach. The food is further broken down by acids and enzymes in the digestive juices. Larger pieces go back to the rumen and get mixed again before going to the reticulum. This process repeats itself several times before the food is small enough to pass through the intestines and be absorbed into the deer's body as energy. While deer are ruminants, they're not always chewing. They spend around 8 hours a day looking for food. Then they spend another 8 hours eating. The remaining 16 hours are spent resting, drinking, playing, and socializing. When deer are awake, they mostly live in groups, or at least they do in the summer and fall. During the winter, deer tend to spread out so that they're not competing with each other for food. In the spring, the mothers give birth to their young, and then they rejoin other members of their species. White-tailed deer, which live here in New England, usually give birth to 1, sometimes 2 fawns each year. Fawns are able to walk within an hour after being born. However, they stay hidden in the weeds or tall grasses while mom goes to look for food. Mom will return periodically to nurse her fawn and keep it safe until it's old enough to leave the nest. Fawns are completely dependent on their moms for their first few months of life, but after that, they can live independently. Most fawns are weaned off of their mother's milk by the time they are 6 months old and are able to live on their own. However, they will still hang out with their mom's herd until the next spring. As I mentioned before, most species of deer are social animals who live in groups. However, the size of these groups can vary. In the summer and fall, white-tailed deer live in groups of up to 50 individuals, but during the winter, the groups split up and individuals search for food alone. Reindeer, on the other hand, are more solitary. They may come together in large numbers during mating season or when there is a large amount of snow on the ground. Like most wild animals, deer are generally afraid of humans. If you see a deer in the woods, it will most likely run away from you. However, in some places, people feed the deer, and this can make them comfortable around humans. It's best not to approach wild animals, even if they seem friendly. Remember, a wild animal is still a wild animal. Even though deer are pretty good at hiding from predators, sometimes they become the prey. One of the largest predators of adult deer is the gray wolf. Wolves hunt in groups and coordinate their actions to surround and corral their prey. This makes it hard for deer to escape. Other predators of deer include coyotes, bears, mountain lions, leopards, tigers, and humans. Humans hunt deer for food and sport, and we also hunt them to help control their population. Around the world, there are hundreds of myths and legends featuring deer. In Celtic mythology, the deer represents the soul of the forest and is sacred. To many indigenous peoples, the deer is a symbol of gentleness, endurance, and courage. Ancient Greeks believed that the constellation of the Great Bear followed the rhythm of the deer as it walked across the sky. In Hindu culture, the spotted deer symbolizes beauty and grace. In China, deer are considered a symbol of peace and longevity. In Native American culture, the deer is often seen as a trickster, and its heart is a symbol of bravery. No matter where you live in the world, deer are a majestic and elegant creature that has captured our imaginations. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you soon for more animal fun.